Welcome back, Shalligator, and welcome, Billie Eilish fans. What do you guys call yourselves? Billy Goats? You should. Bill Eyelash extensions. Eilish extensions. Do you get it? Okay, anyway. We are going to be breaking down Billie Eilish's new documentary, The World's a Little Blurry, and not just talking about like some revelations from that documentary and some things that are resonating, but what we can get from it. Now, in the documentary, we met her ex-boyfriend, who she calls Q. What's his name? You know what? I don't care what his name. I could look it up. I don't care. Because he's out of her life and he is out of our collective consciousness. And I wouldn't just be so like meh about it if he had treated her right. He didn't. A big old double middle finger to that dude. We have a lot to say about him. And more than just that, we're going to talk about what to do if you're in kind of a similar place that Billie was in her relationship with him. What do you do when you need more from someone? How do you ask for more in a relationship without sounding desperate, crazy, clingy? How do you stand up for yourself and your needs without scaring someone away? I'm going to give you the exact script you can use. You can either say it, copy it and paste it into a text, but this is going to get you from point A to point B, and do everything you can to give a guy the opportunity to be the man you want him to be, that maybe you know/hope he could be. And then how to read the writing on the wall if it doesn't exactly go according to plan. So we're going to do that. But first, be sure to follow me on Instagram. Now, I'm not just saying that as usual. Hey, check out some Instagram. No. We're doing something very special on Instagram right now. We're doing a different kind of Evil Week. You see, there's a group of people out there. I mean, there's lots of people who don't like me. I'm controversial. I honestly don't understand why, but whatever. If you don't like me, that's fine. No one's making you watch. And so it's really weird that you would if you don't enjoy what I'm saying. Like, why do that to yourself? But hey, it's free speech. You don't have to like me. You don't have to say nice things about me. But there's a group of people who've taken it in another direction. Death threats, threatening my family, threatening my safety, doxing my friend's 14-year-old daughter because they falsely think she's someone who runs one of my fan accounts. No. These people have been given the chance to do the right thing multiple times, not by me directly, but by my friends, by my fans, by other fan accounts, and they've chosen not to. You had the easy way out, and you chose not to take it. So over on my Instagram, I'm exposing these people. They've been bragging for the better part of a year that no one will ever find out their real identity. It took my team less than 20 minutes to find out who they are. So head over to my Instagram. I'm going to be posting their real faces and their real names. Now, I'm not going to be doxing anyone and posting their contact information. I don't do that. I've had it done to me. I don't do it to other people. I don't need to. All I need to do is show the world who these people really are and how they choose to spend literally hours of their day. Hours. I honestly cannot imagine anything so pathetic. I really can't. Like, this is your one life on earth. This is how you spend it, like trashing me, someone nobody even makes you interact with. All right, weirdo. If you spent 5 minutes out of the hours you spend hating me doing a plank, you would look so good you wouldn't have to hate me. But no, that's okay. So head over there. It's going to be real fun, and it's going to be very public, and it's going to be extremely drawn out. And you know what? This is just the beginning. I got a lot of stuff planned for you girls. See you soon, cuties. So let's talk about Billie. Billie. Oh my God, dude, this documentary. I was so bored. Were you guys bored watching this? 2.5 hours. She's only 19. 2.5 hours is like 1/8 of her entire life, I think. I don't need to do the math. I'm pretty sure that I'm right. But it's like there was so much content of her writing the songs, and I understand the documentary is like how she made her album. I just think maybe the directors and producers overestimated like how much people actually want to see. Most creative processes are actually kind of boring. I know you guys want a day in the life video. I'm going to do one, but I'm trying to figure out a way to make it dynamic, not just like me typing. Like, it's boring, you know? Like, you guys see the exciting part. You're watching it right now, not like the editing and moving my mouse around. Like, can I get another latte? Okay. It's just, so I think it was interesting to see how her and Phineas created the album and wrote the songs, but I think 30 seconds to a minute of that would have been perfectly sufficient instead of like 10-minute blocks multiple times throughout the show. Plus, like, the concert footage. I don't want to watch an audience watching Billie through their phone watching her in the crowd. Do you know what I mean? I'm like 5 levels removed from this. I'm like, this is, the sound is not good. I'm hearing the crowd more than I'm hearing her. Everyone's got their phones up, which is that is like the saddest part of like our modern age, is you go to a concert and it's just like phones. What are you gonna do with that content? What are you gonna do with it? You gonna put it on YouTube and become viral? No. Are you literally gonna sit there and watch it back? Probably not. I went to a show once and they're like, look, this is gonna be our most dynamic song. We're gonna be running around the stage the most. These costumes are the coolest. This is your phone song. Get your phone out, get your content. And after this, we respectfully ask you, just put your phone away and just enjoy the show. And I was like, that's so smart for an artist to do. And people respected it for the most part. So there was a lot of that in the documentary. I personally had wanted to see more like her feelings and stuff, and that was in there, but it just was like very difficult to slog through. One thing that resonated with me is when she missed her car. I miss my car so bad when I leave. I'm like, where are my babies? I miss them. I hate renting cars. I want mine. So I get that, Billie. And the closeness with her brother is like astonishing. I'm an only child, so I can't really speak to the relationship of brother and sister, but you guys have asked me before for topics like, do you think their relationship is weird? Do you guys? I don't know. I have no idea. And several of you have pointed out that Phineas is dating a girl who looks kind of like Billie. I don't know, but it was cool to see that they really are so bonded. He's got a great voice. You know, I think their harmonies are amazing. Some other things that stuck out, like this is like what really resonated, when her mom and her parents seem very cute. And they seem like they really have her best interest at heart. I can't believe she's done as well as she has, like emotionally, you know? And I think having her parents around are absolutely integral to that. It was an interesting part where she was, they were thinking about releasing the song Zanny, and they were debating it because I think her friend was like, well, what if, because Zanny's about like not doing drugs. I don't want a Zanny now or ever. And her friend was like, well, what if you grow up and you decide to do drugs? Like, people are going to drag you for it. And the mom is like, wait, no. First of all, don't grow up and do a bunch of drugs. And second of all, it's authentic to you right now. Would you guys, as Billie fans, drag her if she was out drinking, if she's like, yeah, no, I take Xanax now, I'm really fucking stressed out, I have anxiety because of these kinds of fans and this kind of scrutiny? I wouldn't. You know, we all signed the DARE pledge, don't do drugs, in like 6th grade. Who in the hell is offering you drugs in 6th grade? Let me tell you also, the after school specials that you see, it's like, hey, kid, come over here. I'm a 9th grader and you're just in 6th grade. I'm going to give you drugs. Yeah, expensive drugs. Drugs that are going to make you feel amazing. And then you're going to be like really happy. I don't know you, but I want to give you this incredible gift. And you're a fucking punk if you don't take them. Hey kid, I've also got some Fabergé eggs and some like uncut sapphires. You want them? Come on, take them. Take these expensive things. That is not what happens. People don't offer you drugs like this. You literally have to buy them. Unless you're famous, then they give them to you. I know this firsthand. Like, the point is, like, of course you're gonna say, oh, I'll never do drugs when you're 12, because it's like, dude, no one's offering me. But then you get older and you're like, oh, I get it. I can see why I need some drugs to get through this life. Some alcohol. I get this. But I think one of the things that stood out to all of us in this documentary was her relationship with that dude. Q. She called him Q. I'm not looking him up because I don't fucking care. Like, I remembered his name this morning, but I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Because he seemed like an absolute shitbird. There is a lot wrong with that relationship. Most notably, the age difference. He was 22 and she was 16. Now, granted, she's not a typical 16-year-old in that she's living this very public life. She's dealing with very adult things, A&R, record deals, money. But that doesn't make up for social experience. And Billie is, you could make the argument, maybe a little behind socially, since she said in an interview in the documentary, I've never been to school. Because they're like, are you homeschooled? Did you drop out? She's like, I've never been to school. So I already graduated. Don't even get me fucking started on being homeschooled. I can see why it's tempting, for sure. We're in mass shootings and there's bullying. I get that. But there is socialization that kids, human beings need that they cannot get in the confines of their own house. And look how close she is with her brother. That's like her only sort of like person, you know? And that's great to have such a strong family structure. But human beings are not meant to constantly be with their family. No animal on earth is. No animal stays with their parents the whole time, with their siblings. They branch off, they grow, and they start their own life, right? Not that you cut your family out, but there has to be a degree of balance and autonomy. And homeschooled, situations don't always offer that. If you guys are homeschooled, I want to know your thoughts. Like, what do you think your handicaps are in terms of socialization? Or do you honestly think it's been way better? Because look, people have said that about only children. I'm an only child. It's like, how could you do that to your daughter? It's so cruel. It's like, I'm fine. We are all just fine here. I see plenty of other people at school. I can come home to my house of peace. No one is disrupting the pizza in the fridge. No one's taking my cashmere sweaters. So even though she's living a more adult life than most 16-year-olds, like I said, emotionally and experientially, she's maybe a few steps behind. He, on the other hand, might be a few steps ahead of most 22-year-olds. I don't think he went to college. He's like was he a rapper or a singer? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? So he is used to a faster life maybe than most 22-year-olds who would be like going to class and like living with friends or starting their first office job. Like, the difference is sexual experience. 22-year-olds, fast life or not, they expect to fuck. They do. Why do you think I date them? Because I expect it to. I know. You're probably saying like, well, Shallon, you date younger guys. I don't date guys who are 16. I date men who are they're men. We're all adults here. We're all in the same life arena. So it's not the same thing. Sorry. If you're so mad about who I date, like, honestly, think about like how much you're stressing about what a stranger on the internet like does with her body with another consenting adult. That's weird. Maybe go eat some yogurt. Like, just get outside for a little bit, some fruit in the yogurt. Try it. But look, 22-year-old men expect things. And it's no big deal for them to hook up and, okay, if they don't have sex, they're still getting a blowjob or whatever. For a 16-year-old, that is a huge event. And it should be. A 16-year-old should not feel like she has a ton sexually in common with a 22-year-old and vice versa. He shouldn't be like, oh my gosh, maybe we'll kiss. They're not in the same life arena. And the potential for him to damage her is huge. And I hope he didn't. You know, you can tell her parents wanted to just, like, they wanted to shelter her, not in necessarily a bad way, but just keep her like safe and good and whole. And it was just, if this motherfucker came along and just like messed with if that was my daddy, that boy would be missing a few less fingers. Anyway. But what we saw in this relationship is a shocking amount of maturity from Billie. I was like, do you watch my videos, girl? Because at one point she's like, I can't fix him. I tried. I can't, throwing him back. Like, she basically broke up with him because he wasn't giving her enough. And there's a part where I think it was Valentine's Day, and the producer's like, so what did he get you? She's like, I haven't gotten anything. He's in like Big Bear with his friends. And I'm like, cool, I'm here miserable, but that's fine. No, you go ahead. That's fine. And you have to wonder, is that part of the reason he's dating someone so much younger with so much less experience so that he can kind of like control her? I've said over and over and over again, unfortunately, a lot of older men, when they go for very young women, I mean like under 20, right? Like, that's a whole different ball game. They're not looking for a partner. They're looking for a fan. They're looking for a little toy. And the dynamic, because like, look, a 22-year-old's like, hey, I can buy beer. Another 22-year-old woman's like, all right, I can too. A 16-year-old might be like, whoa, that's so cool. He has his own apartment and his own car. Never mind it's a hoopty. Never mind it's a shitty Roach Motel apartment. But a lot of times, older men who go after very young women under 20, they're doing it because they know women their own age are going to call them on their bullshit and be like, I don't fucking think so. But a young woman lacks the experience. Not her fault. She's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. She's exactly where she's supposed to be. But I digress. We've done a lot of video on this. We have a whole playlist about age gaps in relationship. We talk about Scott Disick, so go check that out. But I want to talk about how to get more from a relationship, right? What do you do when you're just not getting your needs met? Because you know what shitty people do? They gaslight us and they tell us that our needs are crazy. Oh, so I'm just supposed to like call you every day? Like on the phone? What am I, like King of England? Do I have just that kind of time? And you're like, Jesus, Tyler, all right, I'm sorry. God. When people can make us feel ashamed and small, then they have control over us, because then we just get quieter and quieter, and we get more and more translucent and like looser, like this weird hologram, right? We just vanish. And we do that when we're not afraid, when we are afraid to lose someone. I talk about being afraid to lose someone this week on the podcast. Go check out the Girl on Top podcast. But I talk all about how to dismantle fear of losing someone, what questions to ask ourselves so we can get to the other side of this and break it down. So we're like, I'm not fucking afraid to lose you. I want you, but I don't need you. And there is a huge difference. So how do we ask for more? Okay, well, first you have to define what more is. If you go to a guy, or if someone came to you, if your friend came to you and was like, I need more from you, you'd be like, okay, I love you. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? I don't understand. You have to get really granular with men. They don't take hints. And if he's already not wanting to give you more, if he's like, hey, well, this works for me, he's not going to like ask a bunch of leading questions about what more means. Do you know what I mean? So you have to define it as such. And before you can define it to him, you have to define it to yourself. Look at 3 situations where you feel like you're not getting your needs met. And before you do that, it's helpful to figure out your love language. There is a book called, I think, The 4 Languages of Love or something. And it's, like I've always said, it's like very weirdly Jesus-y. Just ignore the Jesus part. He's chill, of course, but not really relevant to this discussion. So the love languages are like physical touch, compliments, acts of service, and gifts. Physical touch, hugs, kisses, blowjobs. Compliments, you're so pretty, I love you. Acts of service, babe, I changed your oil in your car. I brought the groceries in. And gifts, we all know what gifts are. What's your love language? Mine, acts of service and compliments. I don't need gifts. Physical touch is nice, but actually women, that's usually the lower part on their list. You know, it is. Like, we're more cerebral than tactile and physical. Men are much more physical. Many, many times they need words of affirmation, like compliments, you know, and physical touch. We know this when we're in a long distance relationship with a guy and they're just losing their mind because they can't do it because they have to be physically around their woman a lot. We do better with like the FaceTimes, the words of affirmation, stuff like that. So define what yours are and then use that to kind of hone and shape your definition of more in these, in these 3 examples that you're going to give to a guy, okay? So, what's a good thing? Okay. I'm trying to think of like my past relationship. I need you to follow through on plans. If you say we're going to the movies tonight, we're going to the movies, okay? I need you to be more social with my friends and family. If I say there's a birthday dinner, I would love for you to come. And if you, okay, well, we're going to get to the if. We're going to get to this. And I need more compliments. I need you to be more open and communicative about why we're in this relationship and what you like about me, okay? Okay, those are our 3 things, right? You go to someone, and this is the script. But actually, before I get into the script, we're going to talk about the if. Because when we go to someone and we're like, hey, I need more, what we don't want to do is give an ultimatum. Ultimatums are, if you don't do this, then I'm leaving. If you don't do X, then Y is going to happen. Now, on one hand, statistically, studies show ultimatums don't work. People don't like to be threatened. They don't. They don't like to be bossed around and told what to do. So we're left with a circuitous route of like making him think something's his idea. We can do that. We can, but we're busy women, aren't we? And sometimes you just need to tell people what you need without beating around the bush, without hinting and cajoling. So instead of giving an ultimatum, you're going to phrase it in a different, softer way of, these are my needs. These are what aren't getting met. And this is how I feel as a result, okay? My needs, how the needs are not getting met, how I feel. Now, in an ultimatum, the how I feel is not a how I feel, it's a this is what's going to fucking happen. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It creates a tense, hostile relationship. And you're not after victory, you're after peace. You're into harmony, you're trying to build a better relationship, okay? So this is the script. Hey, I've really been enjoying so many things about our relationship. I love that you do things for me, like you change the oil and you kill the spiders and like you send a birthday card to my grandmother. Like, that's so sweet. And I want you to know how much I appreciate those things. Okay? You're leading with something positive, right? Studies show that you gotta butter people up, right? People are much more receptive to a bad message if you started with the first message. You gotta front load it with something positive. Men in particular tend to remember the first thing said in a conversation. Women tend to remember the latter. Isn't that interesting? So if you're trying to pitch an idea, to a woman, make your strongest arguments at the end. Men, make them in the front. So I love that you do all these things. But there's certain things that I need that I probably haven't communicated before. This takes the onus off him and it puts it on you. This isn't, you know I need this. Even if he does fucking know it, you're not making this an accusation. You're saying, hey, I just haven't communicated this to you. So, okay, I'm in the wrong here. Things I just haven't communicated before. There's certain things that would really make this relationship better. And you can think that these things are crazy. Maybe they are. But this is simply what I need to feel whole, loved, protected, respected, and loyal in this relationship. Do you see the tacit underlying threat there? Loyal. Never be afraid to let a man know that you've got fucking options. And you can do this and you should do this in the most subtle of ways. The most subtle of ways. Men are creatures of supply and demand. No one really wants someone that nobody else wants, right? We don't want stuff that's on the fucking clearance rack. We want top shelf. So you let him know, just a little slip that in there. Hey, loyalty. My loyalty is not guaranteed. I don't love you unconditionally. Unconditional love is for pets. Pets alone, okay? Everything else should have some strings attached. No, I'm not just gonna love you if you're an asshole to me. I'm crazy. So, So you don't know. Loyalty. There's some things I need to make me feel these things. I need you to follow through on plans. You know, I understand that things with friends come up, and that's great. I want you to have your friends, but if you've made a commitment to me, I would appreciate if you honor that, because by honoring that commitment for us to go to Chili's and get extreme jalapeno poppers, you are telling me that you respect my time. I turned down an outing with my friends because I wanted to see you because you're my priority. So when you don't do that, I feel like I'm not the priority. See, here's my need. Here's how it's not been met. And here's how I feel. I don't feel like I'm a priority. I need you to be more social with my friends. I want to integrate you into my life, because if I don't feel like that's happening, then I feel like maybe this isn't a relationship to keep investing in if he's not investing either. Again, the tacit threat. What did I say the third thing is? Oh, compliments. I also need more compliments. Here's an example. Babe, I'm so proud of the way you handled that thing at work. I know that you are proud of how I handled it. You're giving him a lifeline right there. You're letting him know, I know that you are this guy. I know you are. It's just a matter of you actualizing. You got to feed that ego, right? This is manipulation, which is not a bad thing. We all manipulate every circumstance to our advantage. This is how humanity works, and it should. Requires a little bit of jiving, right? So that's okay. Because you know what? Like, if you don't tell me you're proud of me, I feel very alone in this relationship. Notice how all these I feels add up to the same thing. I'm in this alone. I'm isolated. I'm not invested. If he's smart, he's going to get the fucking memo. Let's say he's not. Okay? Then you pull out the big guns. And again, it's not an ultimatum. You say, and so you can say what I said. And so like all of these things are making me feel kind of like I'm in this relationship alone a lot of times. And you know, I have to sit and ask myself, why would I be in a relationship where I'm kind of here by myself? That's it. If a guy you really like said that to you, hey, why would I be in this relationship? You would get the message. You'd get the message. So hopefully your dude will. Because this script, here's what I need. Here's some examples of these needs not being met. And here's how I feel. And most importantly, here's what that feeling leads to in terms of actions. The action of me leaving is born of this feeling. If I keep having this feeling, the resultant actions are XYZ. And that would be sad. You're not telling him, do this, do that, we don't want to be someone's emotional parole officer, do we? I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm constantly like, I'm a teacher, because then you set up a parent-child dynamic, don't you? It's not sexy, it's not fun, it leads to a ton of codependency, ironically, and it's just like, it's not sexy and it's not fun. Why would I be in a relationship with someone I'm constantly having to school? And Billie reached that conclusion. I'm like proud of her, that's amazing. So this is a way to communicate your needs, issue those veiled threats. And look, threats are not always a bad thing. Sometimes threats are predictions. And we won't call them threats. Predictions. I predict, I'm looking into my crystal ball and saying, if you don't quit coming home wasted after hanging out with your female coworker, I predict you're not going to get a blowjob from me ever again. Oh, well. Look, at the end of the day, though, we can be as sneaky as we want to with these arguments. We can approach it as neutrally and as dispassionately and as perfectly as we want to. If they're not into it, and if they're just a shitty fuckboy who's like, I really don't care what you need, then that is what it is, girl. We have this conversation once. And I tell the guys I date, I'm having this conversation with you once. I choose my words carefully and I never repeat myself, okay? So I hope you hear me and we can keep having this discussion. What do you hear me saying? Let's talk about it. Let's rap about it. Like, what's going on? But I'm not bringing this up again. This isn't fucking baseball. There's no 3 strikes with me and I don't owe you 3 strikes. You barely get 1 in my life. Like, get out of here. So at the end of the day, all you can do is all you can do. You can speak your truth. You can set your boundaries. You can communicate your needs. And if a guy's like, I don't care, that is the writing on the wall. And baby girl, you gotta read it. You gotta read it. I say all the time, I talk to you guys and the problems that you have, it almost never comes down to, I didn't know it was gonna go bad. I didn't know. 99% of the time it's, I knew. And I chose to ignore it. He showed me who he was. He showed me what he cared about. He showed me when he didn't care. And I made excuses for him. Stop apologizing and making excuses for men who don't even care enough to apologize for themselves. I am the one who has talked myself back into relationships with fuckboys. They didn't do it. They're like, I don't care, man, leave or don't. And I was like, well, no, you're just tired, you're stressed, your dad didn't love you, so I will stick around. Not anymore. Not anymore. Because we're only breaking our own heart. And then when it eventually goes belly up and you finally do decide to read the writing on the wall, you're so mad and you're so bitter, but you're not mad at them, girl. You're mad at yourself. That's when we can't get over something. That's when the bitterness sets in. When we have no choice but to hear that creeping voice, I fucking told you so. And it might not even be creeping. It might be our friends being like, we fucking told you so. Okay? We told you so. And there is nothing worse than hating yourself. There's nothing worse than realizing you broke your own heart. It's awful. So speak your truth, set your boundaries, and then walk in the light of the truth of the situation. Because if this man isn't giving you what you need, get out of here. Do you think Billie will never love again? Come on! She's got great love waiting for her out there. She's got a great family support system. She's got friends. She's got fans. Like, I'm so proud of her for being like, bye. Like, that's incredible. Does she want to take over this channel? Like, she knows more than me. When she's my age, she will know everything. She'll be like a super god of a person, I hope. Good for her. And I hope we all are like that. I hope we're all moving towards that realization of, I don't need you. If you're not giving my needs, I don't need you. Like, one of my needs is not you. It's love, compliments, affection, support, whatever. It's not your bitch ass. That's just this empty vessel of disappointment. Nope. I want to know what you guys have to say about the Billie documentary. Did it really resonate with you? Did you find it boring? Oh, tell me in the comments and we'll talk about it. We're going to be back with some more videos, Shalligators. I'll see you later.